With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Welcome to the Eric Erickson Show podcast, Hour 1.
Well, there's some breaking news happening out of the gate. Welcome, it's Eric Erickson here across the nation from my flagship station, WSB in Atlanta, in studio today. The phone number, 877-973-7425. Breaking news. Emory University Healthcare, the largest healthcare provider in the state of Georgia, in the name of equity, diversity, and inclusion, has decided you can no longer take off work on Christmas Eve. That's right, friends. Emory University Healthcare, a Methodist institution no less, has decided its 22 to 25,000 employees can no longer have Christmas Eve off as a holiday in the name of diversity, equity, and inclusion. No. Now you get Juneteenth. You get MLK Day and Juneteenth. You Christians, don't worry. You can't get off Good Friday and you can't get off Easter, but Easter falls on a Sunday, so most of you are safe. But Christmas, you'll get Christmas Day. If you want to take off Christmas Eve now, you're going to have to take paid vacation day for Christmas Eve. The company has always given off Christmas Eve, but has decided after a listening tour. A listening tour. This is what they always say. Who the hell did they listen to? So you can't get back-to-back. You cannot take back-to-back 2 days off at the end of the year anymore. No, you got to work that one day. But we're going to give you Juneteenth. This is from the Washington Free Beacon. This is making national news. The largest hospital system in Georgia, Emory Healthcare, has scrapped Christmas Eve and added Juneteenth. You will now have to take paid time off to celebrate Christmas Eve. The change is just announced. Employees will be able to earn holiday pay for working on Juneteenth. You will not be able to earn holiday pay for working on Christmas Eve. You will be expected to show up at the office or take a vacation day. We hope this will allow more opportunities for celebration, reflection, and education. Emory Healthcare CEO June Supley wrote in an email to employees, diversity, equity, and inclusion at Emory Healthcare is about creating an environment of true belonging for our patients and team members while ensuring equitable outcomes for all. So, okay, I'm sorry, I got to go there, and people are going to say, I know what they're going to say, it's racism, you're not allowed to talk about it. You get Martin Luther King Jr. Day off celebrating the black civil rights leader. And now you're going to get Juneteenth too. So we have two holiday celebrations now for black Americans and one for the Christians who represent like 70% of America to 80% of America, 2 billion people worldwide. We give you one day. But to make us the progressive leadership feel good, we're going to give you 2 days to celebrate Black America. We'll give you one for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We'll give you one for Juneteenth. Now, I got to say, I realize I'm not just a white guy. I put on white socks. They disappear. I'm that white. I realize that. But I got to think that a large number of the black employees at this hospital system would like to have 2 days off at Christmas as opposed to having Juneteenth off. Now, why do I say that? My friends, I may not be a black American, but I know and am surrounded by live with and love a lot of Black Americans. Do you know how much their moms cook for Christmas? And they do it on Christmas Eve? Do you know how many of the women in this hospital system, many of whom listen to me because my wife goes there for her health care, do you know how many of these women take off on Christmas Eve and it's basically a work day for them already because they're cooking so much for Christmas? I mean, this is racism to a degree, to make these Black ladies go work on Christmas Eve and then have to go home and do all the work for Christmas that they're going to have to do anyway because their families are coming. You're making the Black women at Emory Healthcare do double duty on Christmas Eve by doing this. And it's the white progressives, I guarantee you, the white progressives at Emory University Healthcare are patting themselves on the back. Jesus gets one day and Black America gets two now on the paid vacation leave, and they're very proud of this in their employee. Emory Healthcare currently observes 9 paid holidays each year, while other Atlanta health systems average 6. We're proud to offer a rich holiday benefit package to our employees. For each observed holiday, our clinics and business offices close, which means our patients are unable to make clinical appointments for those days. To minimize impact to patient care, we will not be adding another paid holiday. Rather, beginning January 2024, we will remove Christmas Eve from our holiday calendar and replace it with Juneteenth. So Juneteenth will be celebrated on June 19th. This doesn't just mess them up, it messes all their patients up as well. You do realize June 19th is going to be a Wednesday in 2024. So in the middle of June, when people are dealing with their health care, they're going to say, you can't come in today, it's Juneteenth. But if you would like to come in the day before Christmas, wow. Also, keep in mind, again, so white progressives at Emory can feel good about themselves. You can come in Tuesday, December 24th, if you would like, because we'll be working on Christmas Eve now, and all of the moms and dads who have to go home and worry about the Christmas meal and the last-minute Christmas shopping, they're going to be at the hospital on Christmas Eve and then fighting the traffic around all of the malls and stuff at the end of the day, Christmas Eve, getting home, so they can start doing the cooking that they would otherwise have all day to do for Christmas. This is like the dumbest decision designed to make rich white people feel good about themselves. Let's just be clear here. This is not about the Black community. This is not about real equity. This is not about affirming the Black community. They already get Martin Luther King Jr. Day off. Everybody does. It's about ruining the holiday season in the name of the white virtue signaling of the elite at Emory University's hospital system. I hope you'll continue to share your thoughts as we work together to make Emory Healthcare an even more welcoming place for employees and patients. How is it more welcoming to patients to tell them, random day in the middle of June, you can't come see the doctor, but on Christmas Eve, we will gladly see you on Christmas Eve? By the way, you want a random fact? Since 2021, Juneteenth weekends have been marred by mass shootings and other forms of gun violence, including at holiday celebrations across the country. In Chicago alone, gunfire over the 3-day Juneteenth holiday weekend killed 13 people this year. There's actually less of a need for hospital staff to be in on December 24th because people don't want to go to the doctor on Christmas Eve. People don't want to do this thing. So you're forcing people to now go to work on a day a lot of people don't actually want to go to the doctor's office. And what this actually does is it encourages people to have to take time off, to take paid vacation day, to actually have to use up their hours. So now those of you who are working in a place like this, and you're used to saving your vacation days up to take a spring break with the kids, do a last-minute vacation before school starts again, get all the kids together. Now you got kids in college. You still got kids in high school. They're on different schedules. You got to align during the summer to get your high school kids, your college kids, your middle school kids all together to take a vacation. Well, now you're less short one day because now you got to use it on Christmas Eve. Unless you want to go work on Christmas Eve when none of the patients actually want to go to the hospital. I assure you, as someone whose wife uses this healthcare facility, she doesn't like to go to the hospital on Christmas Eve. She wants to be with her family on Christmas Eve. So you're forcing your employees to show up to fill space when they're not going to see a lot of patients because the patients are on Christmas vacation. All in the name of the rich white people in charge feeling good about themselves. Can you imagine the people who sat around a table patting themselves on the back? This is going to make everybody happy. We're going to show our diversity and our equity and our inclusion. Does anybody object? Whitey? No. You whitey? No. You whitey? No. You white person? No. No. You white person? Oh, all the white people agree. We're going to make all the black employees who spend Christmas Eve getting together with their families, we're going to make them come into work that day, but they get off Juneteenth, a brand new holiday that isn't regularly celebrated across the nation. We're now going to all go celebrate it and make them work on Christmas Eve. They're going to thank us. Do these people even know they're black employees? Because, I'm there a lot. And I have gotten to know over the last 7 years of my wife's cancer treatments, a lot of the employees, overwhelmingly non-white employees. And I can tell you from the ones I know, because occasionally we got to be there between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and they're all celebrating Christmas. And now you're going to make them come to work. I mean, who did these people actually listen to? I mean, that's the thing here. They're saying, it was a listening tour for diversity, equity, and inclusion. We sat around with our employees. We sang Kumbaya. We sipped the Kumbaya. And we decided, screw Christmas. That's what the employees want. I didn't intend to spend this long on it, but now it's worked me up. This is just... My goodness gracious, this is what you get when you put the wokes in charge. This is what you get. Of course, now Emory is Methodist, and we know how the Methodists have gone. And I mean, this is where we're headed. I mean, the Christmas carols that they're going to sing on Christmas Eve write themselves over there.
Introducing the hymns of a new generation. The Woke Jesus Hymn Book. It includes old favorites updated to modern sensibilities like Jesus Loves Thee.
Jesus loves thee, this I know, for the drag queen tells they so. Little ones to Zer belong, they're oppressed and he's an ally.
And that old favorite, Jesus Loves the Little Children.
Jesus loves the little children, all the children of the world. Red and yellow, black, not white, they are precious in their sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world.
And who could forget that longtime favorite, Kumbaya, my lord.
Kumbaya, my lord, Kumbaya, oh Lord, Kumbaya.
Or the Civil Rights Anthem, now reflecting critical theory.
We shall not overcome, we shall not overcome, we shall not overcome any day.
And of course, that classic progressive Christian tune, Imagine by John Lennon.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try.
Order now while supplies last.
I am a small businessman. The company that I run for my radio show, it's a small business. I've got employees. I don't have HR. You may be in that situation and you may really need HR. Well, you may want to talk to Bambi. When running a business, your employees can create all sorts of interesting situations and they could get you in trouble. What happens when two employees are squabbling? One of them smells bad all the time. What do you do? How do you navigate the rules? With Bambi, you get access to your own dedicated HR manager starting at just $99 a month. They're available by phone, email, real-time chat. Onboarding and terminations run smoothly. Team members reach peak performance. Your business stays compliant with changing HR regulations. Let Bambi handle your employees for you. Their HR autopilot automates important HR practices like setting policies, training, and feedback. Listen, you want U.S.-based HR managers who give you experience, expertise, a personal touch you need to make it seem like they're a part of your team. They could cost $80,000 a year, but Bambi starts at $99 a month. Schedule your free conversation today to see how much Bambi can take off your plate. Go to Bambi.com right now. Type in Eric Erickson under podcast when you sign up. It'll help you. It'll help your company grow. It'll help you keep peace of mind. It's spelled B-A-M-B-E-E. BAM, B-E-E.com. Bambi.com. Type in Eric Erickson. Hello there. Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number 877-973-7425. I'm still just rolling so I wasn't even going to start with that, but it hit the wires and it's just so absurd. And I suspect we're going to see this and do this more in these left-leaning institutions that are controlled by upper income, mostly white people, not all white people. The CEO is not white, Asian, but it's just absolutely bizarre to me that this is where we're going, that we're going to get rid of the, multi-generational idea of having 2 days off at Christmas in order for the white people in charge to feel good about themselves, making their black employees' lives more miserable by giving them Juneteenth, but making them come to work on Christmas Eve. And then they still got to go home and do all the Christmas cooking. I know so many people who work at Emory Healthcare. My wife is there every 3 months. A lot of them listen to me on the radio, and they're really good people, overwhelmingly non-white employee population. And, we've been there between Thanksgiving and Christmas. I've been swapping recipes with them, and they got their work cut out for them on Christmas Eve. A lot of them have multi-generational families getting together, but the rich white secular people in charge who have their nannies and cooks and all, just wow, what a moronic decision in the name of making the white people feel better about themselves. That's what this ultimately is. You do have to understand the white people will feel better about themselves, that the black employees now have to do double duty on Christmas Eve, but hey, they get off one random day in the middle of June to virtue signal. It just absolutely insane. What a stupid decision. Wow. I hope you remember Emory. Those of you who listening who work at Emory Healthcare, their leadership has said they would love to hear from you. Now, let me tell you about Patriot Mobile. Speaking of a company set up as a Christian conservative company that battles the wokes and shares your values, that's what Patriot Mobile does. You can go take your cell service to Patriot Mobile at patriotmobile.com/Eric. Move your cell service to patriotmobile.com/Eric or call them 972-PATRIOT, and you can do business with a company that shares your values. In sharing your values, they fund the causes you care about, from the Second Amendment to the pro-life movement to conservative parents battling wokes on school boards. You can call them 972-PATRIOT. They have 100% U.S.-based customer service. Tell them I sent you. You get free activation with my name. You can take your existing phone number to Patriot Mobile, or you can get a brand new phone number from them as well. You can take an existing unlocked phone to them, or you can get a new phone from them. And they give you guaranteed great service. They're probably using the same cell towers you're already using. So genius service with great people who share your values. And then you get great discounts. You're a veteran, a first responder, an NRA member, a teacher. You got a lot of lines for a lot of kids. They can give you some discounts. PatriotMobile.com/Eric or 972-PATRIOT. That's what you want to go. If you want to see their coverage map, go to patriotmobile.com/Eric. Put in your address. They'll zoom to your house. They'll show you how good the 5G, the data, the voice is. You get it all. patriotmobile.com/Eric or 972-PATRIOT. Give them a call. Tell them I sent you. Well, so, a great many people who go to that hospital. I know they listen because when I have to go with my wife, and typically we drive separately because she's got to be up there like 6 o'clock in the morning. She'll stay the night before. I got to get up, get the kids to school, and then I'll go meet her at the hospital. I know a lot of the good Lord, you should see my inbox right now. The amount of emails flowing in from angry employees at Emory that at least they should have given the employees, and this apparently was what the employees were asking for, was an option to say, we'll let us make it a floating holiday. You have Christmas Eve if you want, or have Juneteenth. You can't have both. Pick which one you want, and let HR know what you want to do. And that was what they proposed, and employees are pretty furious. Wow. Some of these people, wow, they're not happy. If you're just tuning in, the largest healthcare employer in the state of Georgia, Emory University Hospitals, has scrapped Christmas Eve as a paid holiday. The employees will have to work on Christmas Eve now in order to take off one random day in the middle of June for Juneteenth. Judging by my inbox and judging by social media reaction, employees are not happy that it's a bunch of rich white HR DEI people who made the decision for the employees. The employees would much rather have off 2 days at the end of the year in the Christmas season as opposed to just that one day. My goodness. Did not mean to spend this much time on this subject. I really didn't. But there you have it. We do have to move on because I want to talk about Mitch McConnell. We got lots of news to talk about. But first, I'm going to take a phone call. Jermaine, you're going to be up first today. Welcome to the show.
Awesome. I love going first. I wanted to say really quickly, Eric, to get out of the gate. But, I wanted to say really quickly, I talked to the screener. I'm a new caller. I'm a young conservative. I'm a younger black guy conservative. And I've been listening to your show for about 3 or 4 weeks now. And I just wanted to call and just honestly send you comments and positive comments on how well you send us information. It seems that you do a great job studying information to give us information. And I just wanted to kind of let you know that I'm very grateful for your show. I've called a couple of the other local stations in the past, but I did have one quick question that your screener allowed me to ask, so I'll ask it. As a young conservative, I'd like to ask you, because I've listened to you quite closely, and I know that you seem to be pretty successful. I'd like to ask you, what's one piece of advice that you could give me and all of your listeners as well on what it would take to chase their personal goals, or what you would tell them to, because I have a lot of them. Don't get me wrong, and I won't take all your time. But
that's all right.
Yeah,
okay,
but
so first,
what would you?
Let me ask you a question first. I see your area code. So where are you calling from?
I'm calling from South Carolina, Eric. So I listen to WORD quite a lot.
God's country.
I've called almost all the hosts in the past to talk about politics only, but.
All right.
So
okay, you're making Mark the program director. They're very happy calling in from there. And by the way, I got to tell you, I'm looking forward to getting over there. Stay tuned. I hope to get over there because it's beautiful country and great people. But all right, so Jermaine, so here's the thing that I would tell you in all honesty.
Yes.
If you want to be successful, if you want to chase your dreams, don't be myopic. Don't lose the forest for the trees here. You need to be, first of all, if you're of a faith tradition, take it seriously. Take your faith seriously. I have to tell you, I always hate to give advice on this topic because I very much feel like I fell into my job by accident. I mean, literally, a local radio show guy got arrested in a crack house and they needed somebody to fill in, and I happened to be on TV and they asked. That's how I got into radio. And I pretended for the longest time that I knew what I was doing, but I didn't. I will tell you this, though. If you want to be successful in life, you may never actually accomplish the thing you want to accomplish, and you may find yourself feeling sometimes that you're a failure. But I am a firm believer that God's got a plan for everyone, and you're not going to fail that plan. You're going to be exactly where He needs you to be. And I guess the moral of the story is to be a true success. Wherever you are, be the best you can be at it. And that will give you a way to shine and grow. And along the way, this is the most important part about it. Do not be a jerk. I know people who are very successful who are horrible people, and the entirety of the world roots against them because they're just not nice people. And that they succeed sometimes, and people are like, God, how does that guy succeed? He's such a jerk. Well, sometimes eventually that person falls, and it's awful. You may never get as high, you'll never fall as far, but you can go much higher in life, surrounded by people, by being kind to others, loving your neighbor. And again, you may never wind up where you want to be. I want to be on like 600 radio stations. I want to be like the dominant voice in radio. I may never get there. I hope to, but God's going to put me exactly where He wants me to be. And my job is just to be the very best I can be while I'm there. This reminds me, my favorite MLK speech. Everybody looks at his speech in Washington and stuff. I love the street sweeper speech. That if you're a street sweeper, you be the best street sweeper, so that when you die, all the angels of heaven say, there goes the greatest street sweeper who ever was. And I really do believe your hard work shines through, and people give you breaks and benefits because you're a good person who works hard and you have a good work ethic. And that's the key to success, is a good work ethic, and you're a nice person.
I agree with that.
So yeah,
keep going, man. I guess.
Well, look, I wish I had a greater piece of advice than that, but I really do feel like I've stumbled into every great thing I've ever done. Even when I was a lawyer, it's just I was good at fixing computers. The law firm needed somebody to do it. They hired me as a lawyer, but I also fixed the computers. And that then led into doing political work, which led into running Red State, which led into getting a job at CNN, which led into falling into radio. And now it's the longest job I've ever had and the only one I ever want.
Right.
And just along the way, just remember that you have talents, use them, but you've got to be surrounded by good people and be kind to those people and don't be a jerk. And I sometimes will tell you that the biggest piece of advice I get in my career is that sometimes I'm too nice and I need to be demanding, and I just can't bring myself to do it. I can't bring myself to treat people that way. And I see people get things that I'm like, gosh, I wish I could get that, but I'm not going to be a jerk to get it. And I'll tell you, it's never let me down, because life is a long race, and those people, they sprint, and in sprinting, they get past everybody else, and then they run out of steam. And I mean, I hope that in 5 years from now, I'm an overnight success. So, look, I appreciate the question. I really do. And thank you so much for listening. I'll get up there at some point. Delighted you're listening on WORD as well. I know they are too. Thank you, all of you, for listening. That's a good question. Y'all, this gets me now actually as a segue. You think I can segue into commercial reads? I'm going to segue into Mitch McConnell off of that one. I'm not an overwhelmingly huge fan of Mitch McConnell, and I've been a critic of his in the past. And as we can see in the last little while, Mitch McConnell has been glitching. He's now twice. Someone's had to unplug him, pull out the cartridge, blow it out, kick it, stick it back in, and reboot. And he's glitched, these 30-second pauses. You will notice that the bulk of the Republicans in the Senate are not throwing him under the bus. Now, there are a few along the way who are. Rand Paul, in fact, is out saying in particular that McConnell has not been very forthcoming and he needs to be more forthcoming. And by the way, Rand Paul is absolutely right. There is clearly something going on with McConnell.
I think it's an inadequate explanation to say this is dehydration. Well, I've practiced medicine for 25 years and it doesn't look like dehydration to me. It looks like a focal neurologic event. That doesn't mean it's incapacitating, doesn't mean he can't serve. But it means that somebody ought to wake up and say, wow, this looks like a seizure.
Because it kind of did. Here's the reality is the reason that McConnell is safe where he is because he's taking care of the people around him. And those people fight with each other a lot, and McConnell is the guy who brings them all together. I may not care for McConnell, and he can be a ruthless political opponent. Oh, I know. I got taken off of Fox News because I criticized him one too many times, and he and Roger Ailes were friends. But also, I respect the fact that he can get a lot of people in the room and get things done. I respect the fact that he's got a lot of deeply ambitious people who would love to be Senate minority leader in his position right now who aren't willing to throw him under the bus because all the other people trust that he's the guy who can get people around the table. That matters. I got to say, for all these calls that McConnell needs to resign, none of these people are calling for Dianne Feinstein to resign. Dianne Feinstein has dementia. It's become increasingly obvious. She's in frail health and may die before the end of her term. John Fetterman can't put two words together without falling over, and they're okay with that. And then there, of course, is the President of the United States. The difference between Joe Biden, John Fetterman, Dianne Feinstein, and Mitch McConnell is that Mitch McConnell is still willing to do the press. Mitch McConnell is still willing to stand up and talk to the press. Mitch McConnell is still willing to do the press gaggle.
I have no announcements to make on that subject.
Well, what do you say to those who are...
I'm going to finish my term as leader, and I'm going to finish my Senate term. Thank you.
He's still willing to go out there and do that. Joe Biden's not. John Fetterman's not. Dianne Feinstein's not. For the faults Mitch McConnell has, he's willing to engage the press, even if it means a brain freeze for 30 seconds. McConnell's willing to go out there and do it. I think Rand Paul's right. McConnell should be more forthcoming. There's clearly something going on. He had a terrible concussion 6 months ago. He fell over on a marble floor, hit his head. A terrible concussion. At 80-some-odd years old, he's not recovering as fast. Y'all, I got hit on the side of my head at full swing force by a golf club. I have a divot on the side of my head. When my hair is cut short, you can see. I don't remember a week and a half of my life. It's kind of weird. I remember the impact. I remember beginning to drive home. I remember getting home. And I don't remember anything left. I did radio. I will admit now, for the longest time, everyone's like, oh, you really shouldn't say that. I did radio for 3 days and then got pulled back off the air because I was doing radio and don't remember doing radio. I have no memory of my first week back at work, and I was at work, and there's audio. You can pull the podcast from then. I did great radio. I was smoking refreshed from break good radio, and I don't remember those days. It takes a while to get over traumatic brain injury. I realize that now. I should have taken the time off. My old boss, Drew, he's like, man, you should take an extra week. You should. I was like, no, I'll be fine. I don't remember it. And the only week is because he called me halfway through the week. He's like, man, you really didn't need this. You're sounding great. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you've been sounding great on the radio. I was like, I haven't done radio. He's like, you've been at work for 3 days, buddy. But it takes time to get over it. And he's 80-some-odd years old, and he's aged dramatically since then. There's clearly a problem. But if we're going to do the Mitch McConnell should leave the Senate or step down or step aside or whatever, you got to do it for Joe Biden and Dianne Feinstein and John Fetterman and God knows who else in the United States Senate. The Democrats were perfectly fine to prop up Robert Byrd for as long as they did. That man didn't know where he was. And the Republicans did the same with Strom Thurmond and Thad Cochran. They both do it. The McConnell thing, if anything, is different because he's still willing to go engage the press, even when his brain futzes on occasion after this traumatic brain injury event. Just keep perspective there. And again, it goes back to McConnell, as ruthless a politician as he is, has been able to build bridges and earn people's trust behind the scenes so they're not willing to throw him overboard. Now, I got to tell you about a great group that does great politics, and they're also good people, Americans for Prosperity. Around the country, they are building a huge coalition of conservative activists to help beat back Bidenomics and reignite the American dream. You can go to americansforprosperity.org/Eric today. You can sign up and be a part of Americans for Prosperity. They're doing a nationwide bus tour. They're going into communities explaining how to reignite the American dream. They've actually been doing a lot of gas stations, pointing out how Bidenomics is raising the price of gas, costing people money. You can go to americansforprosperity.org/Eric today. Sign up. They got over 4 million people. They're teaching people how to be door knockers, do the ground game, go to state legislators and city councils and explain how deregulation benefits small businesses, how we can reignite the American dream and push back on Bidenomics at the state and local level. It's americansforprosperity.org/Eric is the website. They've got over 4 million people. They've got chapters in 36 states. They're good people. They're worth fighting with on their side and learning to be a better activist. This hour of the program brought to you by First Liberty Building and Loan. Wherever you are nationwide, they can help your business grow. They are in Noonan, Georgia, but don't let that deter you. If you're in Kalispell, Montana, they can still help you up there. If your business is needing access to money and banks are giving you a hard time, reach out to First Liberty. That's their wheelhouse, helping small businesses become big businesses. FirstLibertyGA.com. FirstLibertyGA.com is their website. Just real quick, I am going to move on because the polling numbers on Biden are absolutely terrible. We've even got to talk about the Spectrum Charter cable stuff with Disney, and DeSantis has finally decided to take off the gloves and throw haymakers at Trump. I got the audio there. We got all that, but let me just say, we're in the 21st century. We have amazing computers that are very flexible. It just seems that maybe give employees some floating holidays. And if they want to take off Juneteenth, take off Juneteenth. If they want to take off Christmas Eve, take off Christmas Eve. Don't make them take vacation day. Give them a floating holiday. My business has floating holidays. I mean, my business does. You want to take your birthday off as your holiday? Take it. That's your floating holiday. Just tell HR. But also, what about the Jewish employees? There's no. You got Christmas. God bless you for taking off Christmas, but Christmas Eve makes a ton of sense given the high percentage of Christian employees. But Yom Kippur, Passover. I mean, I realize these are multi-day holidays, but can you not? I mean, if you gave a floating holiday, you'd also be allowing your Jewish employees to take off one of their religious holidays. Floating holidays make sense. It's good employment practice these days. I mean, my employer does it. It was a novel concept at the time it was introduced a number of years ago, but now it's done, and it makes a ton of sense where you don't have to take a vacation day. If you're Hindu or you're Jewish or you're Christian or Zoroastrian, you got a high holy day, you can take it off as your floating vacation day. And I can't believe that a place as progressive as Emory Healthcare wouldn't do something like that. That's just dumb. All right. Speaking of dumb, y'all, I'm a big live and let live. It doesn't bother me if you want to wear a mask. I think we got to be understanding. But I saw a new one today. I was coming to the office, and along 17th Street in Atlanta, Georgia, there was a college-age girl wearing oversized pink earmuff-style headphones, and she had on her face mask to protect her from COVID while going 10 miles an hour across the street on a scooter. And I took a pic. I'm so not unless you're like in a car by yourself, but this is the first time you're on a scooter wearing your face mask and your oversized pink headphones. I'm like, what is wrong with you? You're not going to get COVID, nor are you going to give COVID to other people. It baffles me. You're not gonna be transmitting COVID while you're outside in the sunshine. We've got the research. The research says that. I'm baffled. Like, I'm really, really baffled. And a priest messaged me on Twitter and says, I got one better than that. I saw a guy on a motorcycle. He was wearing no helmet. He was wearing shorts, and he had on his N95 mask. I was like, yeah, okay, and maybe it's for bugs, but I don't know. I don't know. The whole thing is just odd. But there certainly is a spike in the number of people wearing face masks in the grocery stores. You realize it's for you to minimize giving other people COVID. It's not about minimizing you getting COVID. Live and let live. Live and let live.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.